Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all, she was loved by her grandmother. There was nothing that a grandmother would not have given to that child. Once she gave her a little cape of red velvet, which suited her so well that she would never wear anything else. She was always known as Little Red Riding Hood. One day her mother said to her, "Come, Little Red Riding Hood, here is a piece of cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak, and they will do her some good." "I will take great care," said Little Red Riding Hood. Grandmother lived out in the woods. Just as Little Red Riding Hood had entered the woods, a wolf met her. Little Red Riding Hood did not know what a wicked creature he was, and so she was not all afraid of him. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," he said. "Thank you kindly, Mr. Wolf. Where are you headed so early this morning, Little Red Riding Hood?" "To my grandmother's." "Where does your grandmother live?" "A little farther out in the woods. Her house stands under 3 large oak trees. You must surely know it," replied Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf thought to himself, "What a tender young creature! She will be better to eat than that old woman. I must act quickly as to catch both." He walked for a short time by the side of Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood got distracted by the sunshine and flowers, and meanwhile the wolf ran straight to Grandmother's house and knocked on the door. "Who is there?" yelled Grandmother. "Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf. "I am bringing cake and wine. Open the door." "Lift the latch," called out Grandmother. "I am too weak and cannot get up." The wolf lifted the latch, then the door sprung open. Without saying a word, he went straight to Grandmother's bed and devoured her. He put on her clothes, dressed himself in her cap, laid himself in bed, and drew the curtains. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived, she was surprised to find the cottage door wide open. When she entered the room, she had such a strange feeling, but she still called out, "Good morning." She received no answer, so she went to the bedroom, drew back the curtains. There lay her grandmother with her cap pulled far over her face and looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have!" "All the better to eat you with, my child," was the reply. "But, grandmother, what big eyes you have," she said. "All the better to see you with, my dear." "But, grandmother, what large hands you have." "All the better to hug you with." "Oh, but, grandmother, what a terribly big mouth you have." "All the better to eat you with." And soon after the wolf said this, with one bound, he was out of bed and swallowed up Little Red Riding Hood.